Okay, you're mid-season or the season's just over now, and you were pushing, you were training, you were competing, you were lifting, you were grinding, and then suddenly the calendar or the situation forces a pause. No practices, no structured lifts. For many athletes, this pause feels like some lost progress and we are not doing anything, we're falling behind. But then we have to think back and see this as a switch. Okay, what if it's one of the greatest opportunities to mentally and physically, but mentally advance while physically resting? And this episode, two-part episode, we're going to break it halfway through, is about turning a forced break into your secret weapon. And with that, you're going to watch us go through a little forced break. Hey y'all, welcome to the Mental Performance Playbook, where we are breaking down elite mental strategies and delivering them in actionable exercises that we can apply immediately. My name is Gabe Rummel, mental performance coach, founder of the Athlete's Health, and creator of It's for Noack Gym, our performance institute, where we are training your mind just like you train your body. Now, each week we focus on a mental performance theme of the week that helps out the athletes or coaches or parents with these practical tools and exercises to build the stronger focus, resilience, and confidence. So this week, the theme is breaking to build. And more specifically, you're going to watch us take a quick break from everything we do here at the Athlete's Health and just sit back and mentally prime, physically prime, and then come back stronger than ever. And that is exactly what we can do in our sport as well. So we are going to, most likely, we should get this in, okay? We should get this in, have a pre-break part of this episode and a post-break part of this episode. TBD on if the post-break is going to be with some of the TAH team or if it'll just be me back here sitting. Kind of depends on how we're feeling when we get back and everything else of the sorts. But without further ado, let's dive in to at least part one of breaking to build. And just to be clear, we are not breaking any momentum. We're not breaking any bones, any muscles, anything. Or it's taking a break is all it is. And it's really, really, really hard to do, but it is important. So the first exercise I have is reverse the guilt, where resting is rebuilding. Now, this is me talking to myself here now, too, just as much as I am coaching and helping out the athletes that I'm talking with. But so many athletes are going to feel guilt during rest. So many performers feel like we need to be doing more. We have to get going to the performance. We have to keep going. But we have to reframe the rest. We're guilty. We're used to doing stuff, but we don't have to be feeling guilty of it if we can reframe it, if we can see what else this rest is doing, how it is actually rebuilding us. And to do this, we can just write a quick list of how recovery is building our performance, both physically and mentally. And then we can see this. We can check this during our break if we need to. Maybe that primes us and gets us ready to go for the break. But we also might need to see it because we might be coming back to it and thinking, oh, I could be doing this. And we need to see. And maybe we can do that, right? Maybe we should do that. Or like maybe it's just jot down a note here or our new play here. Like that's okay. But that is coming from the recovery and the rest because it's rebuilding our thoughts and what we are doing. Right? If we're thinking of pro athletes, a lot, they are all scheduling rest like training. It's not being strategic. It's not being lazy. It is being strategic. It's not being lazy, right? Especially because they are running through a season and then they have some deliberate rest because during the season, sometimes that performance is so hard and it's so much. So then that rest comes. But especially if we're in spring and summer season and then we go straight to fall ball and then that kind of carries into winter and then all of a sudden it's spring and summer season again, we don't really get that break. And then if we're performing in business and life, there is no break. So we need to have that rest and recovery to actually build forward. And it comes back to reversing the guilt, to knowing that it does recharge the battery. The rest is rebuilding, charging. So we need to remind ourselves so we do not feel guilty about it. The second one is mental vision work. We can start to see the game before we play it. If we are not performing, how often do we visualize greatness? For me, it's quite a lot, or I'm seeing it all the time if I'm not actually doing it. This is our highlight reel rehearsal. And sometimes when we're in the go, 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 and we just keep going, we don't actually take the time back to really write it down, journal, reflect on it, and not just in a like yoga, just that's so whatever the term is for it, drawing a blank on that one. It actually can produce and form that outcome more because we are seeing it and we're walking through the steps and we're seeing the outcomes. We're putting a little more game plan in it. I know if I'm not doing something, then I'm thinking about it, but I'm just thinking in the way that I've been thinking. And then if I take a step back and take a little time off, or just be like, all right, we need a quick break here, I start to see it from a different perspective. I'm outside of the box now. I was just in the box, and the box was just going with me as we were walking and trying to perform and do our thing. But if I actually take that pause and I step out of the box and really look at it, visualize that greatness and not just actually performing, then I'm seeing something else. So if we want to work on this with that highlight reel rehearsal, we can in the morning take 5 minutes thinking about visualizing, seeing, playing that movie in the head of that peak performance, seeing yourself move, respond, lead. Maybe it is going to be writing it down and turning those thoughts into words, into actual being processes in front of us, because then the actions will follow through on that if we have primed ourselves to be able to have the actions follow through. That's a huge piece. And if we need a little more help on this, if we need a little more bonus tip for this, is use a past highlight video to prime it. Use some audio cues to boost the clarity, to keep you in that state of mind, to keep you moving forward on it, right? So then that mental vision has its work. So we are seeing the game before we're playing it. Just because we're taking a break doesn't mean we need to stop thinking about it altogether. No, but we can think about it in a different way. We can see it in a different way, especially just a little add-on piece to that. If we are in a new environment, a new situation, like how I will be taking this break, I'm going to be in Colorado. If we are in a new environment for it, we can open ourselves up to a whole nother world. Addicts, totally side note here, one of the hardest things about addicts, why they go into relapse, when they go back out of the addiction center, it's because they're in the same environment. They're seeing all the same things the same way. In the rehab center, they're doing good. So if we go to a new place, we can see everything in a new perspective and get new ideas and get new performance energy, right? It's a new way to go in, not energy. Like you can think about it like totally recharging your body, but also just energy and want and drive into the next performance, into the next season, into the next thing that we have to do. So make sure we can start to see that game before we play it, and take with that break, rebuild by seeing it, playing that movie in the head. And the last thing I want to talk about for this pre-break, on my actual pre-break, and then we'll get into the post-break, either when we come back or I'll record it with some TAH Titans while we're out there, is the stillness builds clarity. If we are having this pause, this break, right, it's going to reset our intentions. If we're constantly moving, do you think we think about why we're constantly moving? Yeah, sometimes we do, but you're constantly moving. Like if you're driving on the highway, you're seeing everything around you, but you're surely missing some stuff. Or maybe you see an animal, but you're driving fast, and so it just goes right past you. It just darts away. So it's not crystal clear. This stillness that we can come in when we can find that break, when we take a quick break, it builds the clarity. And especially if you know it's coming up, we'll do things at a higher intensity speed, at a greater work, right? It's why at the end of the season, you're putting in so much effort and you're like, all right, this is it, all or nothing, because the season's done afterwards. It's just like before that break. All right, all or nothing. I got to put everything into this before I put this break, because during that break, I'm going to find the stillness. We're going to find the crystal clarity. We're going to build it from it. If we want an exercise for this, it's a high anchor reset. I want to call it. I want to make it like this. If anything comes to anything, just text yourself on your phone, right? You can type in your phone number as what you're going to text and just type one sentence of, why do I compete? Why am I playing volleyball? Why am I playing softball? Why did I play this season? Reconnect to the purpose without the scoreboard or pressure. Now, of course, we can add on to that, put a lot on it, but if worst comes to shove in that stillness, we can find that one why anchor reset sentence to think more about why we're doing it. What about it we like? How it's moving us forward, and really find that clarity, build it up. It can be like a suit of diamonds surrounding you, pausing in that intention. And then when we're done with that break, we are rebuilt to be stronger, more energized, ready to go full speed ahead at what we have coming down the pipeline, at that next season, the next performance, the next sport. So, real fast, I want to go through those three and then end you with a quick conclusion for this, but not going to sign off because some way, shape, or form, we're going to have a post break to build part 2 of this episode. But first thing that we were talking about was reversing the guilt, and resetting is rebuilding, right? Don't have guilt about taking the quick pause. Know that you are rebuilding and use these next 2 actions, these next 2 exercises to help rebuild. Of number 2, the mental vision work, seeing the game before you play it, right? Have that highlight reel rehearsal. Walk through it, see some new ways that you can see it as you're out of the box, and maybe you're in a new whole scenario, whole new scene altogether. And in that, find the stillness, have it build the clarity, use the pause to reset the intention, and then we can go full speed ahead, right? This is not just a stop sign. This is a pit stop. Okay, have this break, refuel, have it reset, have it mentally rewire ourselves to come back sharper. Hopefully those are ways that we can think about this and see ourselves doing that, and then setting ourselves up for success. This week is a mental opportunity if you can approach it intentionally. And by the way, just before I let you go, I know towards the end of July, start of August is when, at least in Iowa, there's a break from athletics, right? At least they're supposed to be. I know oftentimes we'll go do stuff on our own, and we still should. I'm not saying don't go do anything. Work on your skills physically, but it's going to be on your own. Use that break, step outside the box, reflect, refuel, rewire, come back sharper, harder, more driven than ever. I will catch you in part 2. Just in case, Gabe Rummel, founder. Peace. Just a quick FYI. Just got back. A lot of stuff to analyze and go through. So we're going to hit you a part 2 next week. Peace.